Alright y'all, welcome back to Final Boss Auto Hub, and before we get into the video, I'd like to apologize for the sound quality. Normally I have better sound quality, but I am recording on something new, so you might get the super deepness of my voice at this point in time, and I'm gonna try to course correct it while I'm doing the editing, but by the time I do another video, I will assure you that the sound quality will be where it normally is. But, nevertheless, here we go. I had some exciting news. I mean, those of you who already follow up within the car industry probably already heard, but the SRT brand is back. I think this is fire. The SRT brand is officially back. A few years ago, just to give you some history, for those of you who don't know, street racing technology broke away from Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler umbrella and essentially formed their own brand. And during this time, from 2012 to 2014, they were selling the Viper, which at that time it was known as the SRT Viper, following on its own moniker, selling the vehicle like that. But, that was short-lived from 2012 to 2014. And then in 2021, the Fiat Chrysler group pretty much merged under the Stellantis Auto Group. And from that time, Stellantis pretty much announced that the SRT brand will be relocated throughout the individual brands at Stellantis, essentially killing the in-house tuning team that Stellantis was, and just killing it for the most part. They wasn't around, but they still used the SRT moniker on the Dodge Challengers, the Chargers, the Wranglers, and things of that nature. So some of the technology was still floating around throughout the brand, but they just wasn't constantly developing new things like how they were 6, 7, 8 years ago before then. Now that the brand is pretty much facing some uncertainty due to its trial within the EV sector as a muscle car brand, Stellantis is, for the most part, is trying to course correct this issue, and they're bringing back the gentleman who was leading SRT before, which was Tim Kanukis, to lead the division again. And Tim, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your last name. I apologize. But, I just want to let everybody know that you're back and you're pretty much leading the SRT brand. And essentially, SRT at this time will be focusing on working on to bring its legendary technology back to the brand and give us consumers what we really want, which is fast, obnoxious, loud muscle cars, which is what the Dodge brand is pretty much known for, I should say. And they will also be focusing on the NHRA drag racing circuit, as well as the 2026 NASCAR Truck Series. So with this information, you could just see that SRT is really back. They're not just saying that they're back and just naming them, but they're putting them to work within the drag car racing circuit, the Truck Series for the Ram, and just pretty much having them develop new technology to be pushed within the cars of the Dodge umbrella again. So this is exciting news, and I'm happy that, SRT is back. I'm a muscle car fan. I had a Challenger. If you watch some of my previous videos, you've seen that I put it up. So I'm excited that SRT is back. But let's get into, my opinion. Let's cut the lights on, right? So I hate to gloat. I really hate to gloat, right? But for those of you who are like the OG subscribers of the channel and just followers of the channel who come back when I do post new stuff, thank you for that, by the way. If you can remember, like my previous videos, I pretty much talked about Dodge going EV, and I was basically saying that that was the wrong thing for them to do from the get-go. So now that this has happened and SRT is back because of the uncertainty of EV right now, I now get to say I told you so? That's okay? I don't want to sound like a cocky, arrogant, pompous person, but, I get to say that. And I'll put the video up somewhere, either right here. I don't know, I'll figure it out. But I'll put those videos up because I believe I did multiple videos about this. And I was literally saying that, if Dodge elect to go the complete EV route, it would just sabotage the company. And now that they tested the waters, they can see it for themselves. Like when the Dodge Charger EV was released, I think it was MSRP between 60 and 70 grand, depending on which model you got. And within a couple months, 2 months or so, 3 months, you got it selling for half of what the MSRP was, which is now like $30K. You could get a brand new Charger EV at most places for like $30,000. which is outrageous. You know, we haven't seen a $30,000 car tag in almost 15 years or so, right? So, I mean, it's just to show you that although I do think the Charger's a looker, I think it's a great looking car. I think it has a lot of potential. It mixes some of the old school with the new school. It's just not selling. Not everybody wants an EV. You know, I do believe they should have still made it, but I think they should have also have their regular NA combustible engines, or at least go hybrid, like what most of the other car companies are starting to do. Make a hybrid Charger V8. You get to keep the sound, you get to keep the soul of the car while making it more efficient and faster, you know? So I felt like Dodge could have went that route opposed to just, you know, going balls to the wall and just completely pushing NA engines out the window, naturally aspirated, I should say, out the window, and just going straight full-blown EV. No, that's not gonna work. And let me just remind you, I still think EV is like a niche. It's like a niche kind of, it's a niche following. It's for a lot of folks who got money, a lot of folks who have the resources, and I don't think the regular everyday folks want an EV car. Like, why would I want to get up, especially living in New York City, go to a charge station? It could be super dangerous. I'm sitting there for 30 minutes to an hour charging my car, or I can go to a gas station and be out of there within 5 minutes. So I think Dodge, due to all the mandates coming down and with the emission stuff, they had the right idea, but I felt like they jumped several levels of steps that they didn't really have to jump at this point in time. They could have went EV, or they could have just maybe cut down the displacement of the V8s and find a way to, you know, make up for some of the power with smaller displacements, but still have the sound, still have the soul of the vehicle. Or, as I said, think of hybrids. Make a hybrid V8 like what some of these car companies are doing, and put it in the Dodge Charger and still keep it, you know, and just work on the preservation of the lineage of your car brand, which is making powerful V8s and V10s. You had that in the Viper. So like maybe go the route of hybrid or turbo, and you know, you don't have to worry about the emission standards, but still get to keep, you know, the soul of your car and what keeps bringing people back. So sorry for going on my long soapbox run. I just think that SRT bringing back is going to be a great thing for Dodge. It's going to let their consumers know that, hey, we're back. Just give us a year or two. We're going to be releasing the vehicles that you like and that you want, maybe even better. And, you know, you could come back to the brand. But here's my hope. You just seen what Chevy did, right? With developing a mid-engine Corvette. Now, the Viper was a niche popular car. Like, you see a Corvette, you go, oh, that's nice. But when you see a Viper, you're like, oh, damn. That's a Viper? That car is sick. Just the design language alone, right? I think Dodge, if they're smart, will look at what Chevy did and see if they can replicate some of that within their own fashion. Like, put their own spin on it and maybe bring back the Viper, and maybe even go in the supercar route like what Chevy just did, and bring back the Viper. Maybe make it mid-engine with the same classic Dodge styling. Who knows? We might get lucky like that. And I hope that's the case, because Chevy just did a number on the auto industry world right now. All they got to do is follow up within their other models within the brand, and Chevy will be up right now. I think I said that in one of my previous videos, but I feel like Dodge can do that. Dodge already got the Charger. That's good looking. Now, if you develop a Viper, whew, you talking about real competition between Dodge and Chevy at this point. So I think with everything going on with the huge rebellion with EV pretty much across the world, I think we might be in luck for a slight golden age again, where we're getting some of the cars we want, we're getting the horsepower, we're getting the excitement, and I hope that's the case. Hopefully we get that in our lifetime again. But I kind of completely went off script within this video because I was so excited, as you could tell. But ladies and gentlemen, SRT is back. I think this is great news, and I'm gonna keep putting it up on my channel and reporting any new thing that's coming from, you know, the brand itself. But thank you for showing up. I'm still here. I'm still putting out videos. Things are kind of slowed down. I had to get something new to record on, but new videos is coming after this week for sure. And please stay tuned, man. Final Boss Auto Hub, we here. We still rocking. All right. Have a good night.